How's it going, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Draft to the Future. I'm your humble host, Matt. My co-host Ryan has already updated you with his players and how they've done in week 2, and this is just my turn. So let's just get it kicked off. No highlights. We just want to kind of burn through these, especially because we're pre-recording these in an effort to be ready for tomorrow for the live broadcast that you will have already seen before this. So we're just trying to crank out some information to keep you guys informed heading into week 3. I got my handy dandy notepad. So I got Tanner Kazoil. He is one of the top tight ends in college football, in my opinion. He was the number 4 offensive player for his team. 6 receptions, 52 yards, 8.7 average. He had a 73.5 offensive grade overall. His pass blocking was 25.6. That's going to get him some negativity. If you're throwing a pass and he's not running a pass route, I feel like that's a coaching problem. And again, some people want pass blocking tight ends. I want him running routes. I want him to be on the field. I want him to be a weapon, not a blocker. Now, on the other side of things, run blocking, that's a little bit different. I got him at a 67.1, which is a little close to above average if you understand PFF's grading. So, solid day for Kazoil. I'm super excited by what he's been able to do, and looking forward for them to start getting into some conference games and really seeing if he can continue to produce. Then we got Eric O'Neill out of Rutgers. He was their number 2 defensive player, 75.5 overall grade, 68.2 run defense, 71.2 pass rush. He had 3 tackles, half tackle for loss. So a reasonably solid day, though nothing that would really move the needle, but nothing that would bring the needle down. So solid day for him. Good work for him. Jordan Tyson. ASU had a miserable game. There's no way around it. I watched a good portion of it. I'm going to have to talk about Sam here in a minute. But yeah, Jordan Tyson, on the other hand, was a bright spot. He was targeted 11 times this week alone. He did have 1 drop, but when you have 1 drop on 11 targets in a bad game, we don't want these to add up. We don't want drops to become too big of a thing. But I'm going to be a little understanding so far. 6 catches for 68 yards, 11.3 yards per reception. He did get a touchdown. He had a 73 grade overall. So he was a bright spot. I can't say the same about Sam Levitt. Listen, I love him. I think highly of him. He has all the tools he needs to be a star. But if I could advise him, it's a young season. He might blow the doors off everybody. You don't know. We here at Draft to the Future already stand behind a foundational belief, a philosophy where we think you should maximize your eligibility. You need these starts and reps in college because there's no development plan for the league. So your only development, and anyone says, oh, we develop our quarterbacks here. No, they don't. That's not what they do. You get on the field, maybe you get some practice reps, but you gotta get reps. You gotta get in-game reps. And you get in-game reps by maxing out your eligibility. I'm not begrudging anyone, especially if you get told you're gonna be a first-round pick. But if you're going to be a first-round pick and you're not ready for the moment, it's not going to help you at all, and that's negative. That's unfortunate. And with a game this poor, I just really hope he flips the switch. And I know he can do it, but this week, not what you want people to look at. 10 for 22, 3.7 yards per attempt, 82 yards. He had 1 touchdown and 2 ugly interceptions. This is easily the worst game I've seen him play, and it is early. Maybe he just starts lighting it up. Coming into summer scouting, I had him as my number 2 prospect More on that in a moment. I kind of play this little week to week ranking in my head, and this isn't this wasn't his week, but it's still young, and we'll have to see kind of what he's able to produce later on. Uh, Oregon, Alex Harkey is outstanding. He's currently the number 19 offensive tackle according to PFF overall. He had a 70.6 pass rushing grade, 72.5 run blocking grade, and that's actually a down week for him this season. But he's done well. He allowed one pressure and one hit, still no sacks. He got one pressure and 52 pass snaps, one hit. One pressure, one hit, and 52 pass snaps. So he's looking outstanding. He's doing very, very well. And Mekhi Hughes, it kind of looks like Noah Whittington. He's a senior. Noah Whittington has kind of taken the reins on the job. It doesn't mean that he's not going to get, that Mekhi isn't going to get a lot, but he had 9 attempts, which isn't a shame. But he had 9 attempts and could only get 30 yards. Whereas Whittington had 4 attempts and got 91 yards and a touchdown. I didn't watch the tape, so I don't have all the context. But nine attempts is not nothing, and 30 yards on that attempt, it's not where you want to be. But last week he didn't got on the field. This week he got on the field. He's still not having the production he wants. If they keep giving him these reps, he's gonna take advantage of his opportunities, I believe, and we'll kind of see how it plays out. But this was kind of a down week for him. All right, turning the page, literally. Zane Durant. So I have in my notes here, what he has been thus far is a guy who really flashes, but then kind of vanishes. And honestly, it was just kind of all vanished this week. He's nowhere on this stat sheet. He had a 53.4 run defense grade, a 67.7 pass rush grade, which means he was a little bit closer to above average in pass rushing, but he didn't do a lot on a run. And this was not a great week. And to be honest, Penn State didn't have a great week when this should have been more of a tune-up game. So we'll just have to see how that goes. Now, someone who did excel, another bright spot in a bad day. Florida, they had a bad penalty, and I think, look, I'm not a Fire Napier guy. I can't even name 10 college coaches, if I'm being honest. I'm all in on looking at the young athletes, evaluating their products. I don't have knowledge on the history of the game. It's not like how I work. But you had the lead in the ball, and you have the best, and he is the number 1 center according to PFF. You have the best center, and in my opinion, right now, the number 1 tackle in the game. Like, what are you doing? You gotta run it. You gotta put your team in a position, especially when they're having a rough day. He did not have a rough day. Now, I said he was a number 1 center, and he is. Now, you guys have a PFF account, and you look, oh, well, no, actually, he's number 1 among centers with at least 100 snaps. There are some who have less than that who scored higher, but anyone with 100 or more snaps, he's the number 1 guy. 84.5 pass block, 70.9 run block this week. So he was not the problem in this situation in a measurable way. Really continues to shine. I'm very much hoping he falls to the second round. I don't like my odds. But there are a lot of quarterbacks that might go. The current over-under is 5. I'll talk more about that here in a little bit. But if he makes it to the second round, I know who I'm taking in my shadow draft. I really think highly of Jake Slaughter. Caden Green. I kind of called out Ole Miss for putting him out there left tackle now. And he had a better day. He had a 90.9 pass blocking grade, a 60.9 run blocking grade. So he did well, and this was an SEC game. He had the top lineman grade for Missouri that week. It was great improvement in an SEC conference game. So this is a nice step in the direction. I still think he's a guard, but if he plays well at tackle in SEC play, then the idea that he'll be able to kick into guard is only going to improve. So, much better week for Caden Green. Chandler Rivers, not so much. Stock down. Oh, well, okay, hold on. His stock isn't down. The this isn't, in my opinion, a particularly deep corner class, and if he'd be hard for me to pass up in the first round. I could see it in the second. There might be a planet where he makes it in the third round, but there's no planet where he makes it out of the third round. There's none, and he would be a steal at that point. So you just kind of take a look at what he can do. This in my opinion, that game I watched. They were playing amazingly until turnovers and a lack of offensive production that wears on a defense, particularly in the backfield. And that other quarterback was carving people up. What's it? So the that was a lot of trouble. That you got to perform. It doesn't really matter what everyone else does. He was their number 8 player. He was their number 1 corner. He had a 56.9 run defense grade, a 73.4 coverage grade. Now, he only had a 32.3 tackle grade, and that's on him. When you're coming up and you're making a tackle, he's normally great at that. So this is an obvious anomaly. You don't see it a whole lot, but it wasn't great. He was targeted 4 times. He allowed 2 catches for 48 yards. He allowed a big gain. I think it was a 30-something yard gain. So not his best day, but that long pass attempt, it came under some other circumstances. So, 35 coverage snaps, 4 targets, 2 catches. This he still hasn't allowed a touchdown, so it's not the worst night in history for him. But it wasn't the dominant performance I'm used to from him. But I'm confident he'll bounce back. Duke will bounce back, and kind of take it from there. All right. So Terry Moore, unfortunately, he's still hurt. I don't know his timeline. I want to look that up. But I think when he gets back in the game, the Duke will get a lot better. Shout out to that edge rusher. He's pinged on my radar. Vincent something. Yeah. I see you, young man. Just a quick shout out for him. Harold Perkins Jr. Also, kind of a down week for him. A 69.5 run grade. That's pretty good. 54.3 tackle grade. That is not good. 47.3 pass rush grade. That is not good. 64.1 coverage grade. That's okay. He did have a missed tackle, so it's not the end of the world. But that's a thing that we don't want to see climb, because that was a big knock over him. So we do summer scouting to look at who we like. Do they continue on? Do they grow? Do they improve? And then when we see flaws, or when we see things we want growth in, it's only 1 missed tackle, and we want to keep that down. We want to keep that low. So that's where he's at. I would still definitely first round grade. I'm not letting him, like, right now the consensus board has him lower. Ryan and I see this all the time. The consensus board is low on a guy, and we're like, you just don't know yet. You just don't know yet. By April, they're like, yeah, okay. Nah, welcome to the bandwagon. Welcome to the team. Like, what were you waiting for? I think he's a first round guy all day. If he falls to the second round and I have to choose between Slaughter and Perkins, I'm going to hate life. But I'll see what the consensus says. I might come away with both. That would really make me happy. So we'll just have to kind of see where it goes from there. But down week for him. It was not bad, but it wasn't particularly good. The LSU didn't really blow it out of the water. In fact, no, very few teams did. Mikhail Kamara, however, had an up week. I guess you'd call it the big knock. The thing I wanted to see was run stopping. He's got himself a 9.7 run stop win rate, which is outstanding. So he came alive. More on that in a minute. 5 tackles, 3 solo, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss, 84.9 overall. The number one defender for Indiana, 84.9 run defense grade, 76.2 tackle grade, 71.6 pass rush grade. This was an outstanding game. I think Kennesaw State, I think, is the team they played. You should play well against a team like that. Let's see how he improves. And speaking of that, I mentioned earlier, I kind of have like a weekly poll. So I watched last week and I'm like, well, Nuss is kind of clearly the number one guy. And now coming into this, last week I'm like, yeah, Nuss. I'm probably okay with Levitt, because I got to pick a quarterback, and Nuss and Levitt were there. Now, if I have to pick tomorrow, Nuss, the big shocker, Ryan and I, if we're picking tomorrow, John Mateer, I saw John Mateer make one throw. I know I'm supposed to be talking about Mendoza. I will, I promise. John Mateer, he made a throw, and I immediately tweeted that throw put him in the first round. That's all I need to see. I hope to see more, and sure, if he tanks the rest of the year, well, then cool. But I doubt that'll be the case. But as of week 2, I got Nuss number 1, Mateer number 2, and like I promised, I got Mendoza number 3. Now, again, not the toughest competition, but I saw everything I love out of Mendoza. I saw the running, he had 20 yards rushing. I saw the beautiful back shoulder throws, 18 of 25, 245 yards, 9.8 yards per attempt. That's what we're talking about. 4 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. And he worked the middle of the field a lot. Now, again, not the toughest competition, but he was still fearless. And if I have to come out of this draft with a quarterback for my shadow team, and he is one of 3 I would be okay taking. Aller, I reserve the right to hold on Aller. Let's get into some division play, but Aller has not hurt his stock at all. And if I'm being fair, Carson Beck has really done well this season. It's going to be very hard for me to forget last year. It's going to be very, very hard for me to forget last year, but I cannot pretend that Carson Beck's not one of my top guys. And if I'm looking at quarterbacks, he deserves a shout out. But if I'm picking, I'm a little afraid of Aller in those big moments. I'm a little afraid of Beck because of last year. So if I'm running in this, I think Sellers should go back. I think Levitt should go back. Nuss doesn't have a choice. Aller doesn't have a choice. But Mendoza, he's put himself in position to shine, and he just needs to keep doing this against stronger opponents. So big ups to that. A lot of stock up, some unfortunate stock down. I really hope. I think the world of Sam Levitt. I really hope he turns it around. And again, I think Mendoza, is he a junior? If you have eligibility, we here at Draft of the Future think you should max it out. Arch Manning should max it out. I think he will. Get the reps. Get the reps. Take every snap you can get, so that when you get your moment in college, you will have as much preparation, as much in-game experience as you can have, because they're just going to throw you to the wolves. And even great coaches. I had the Minnesota Bears game up right now, and I'm looking at a tale of 2 Calebs, and while the Bears didn't pull it out, and there are things to work on, there is a whole lot more optimism. And in walks McCarthy, and he was handed a beautiful car, and he operated it. He did his job. And that's what happens when you're given a coach. But if you go to a bad team, like the Vikings were a good team who had an off year, the Bears got the right coach. You don't have that same assurance when you're a number one pick, and it's probably not what you want. So, yeah, I'd recommend you get all the experience. So those are some thoughts. Some guys who stood out to me. I'm loving Makai Lemon. I'm still loving Tate from Ohio State. They're doing great. Um, Skylar Gill Howard, a defensive tackle, he's been on my watch list and he kind of exploded. So that was really really good work. Um, uh, John Henry Daly, I think is his name, is an edge rusher and he's really kind of starting to shine among others. Um, the not Duke. Come on, Bud Clark at safety. He's been doing some nice things. Austin Romaine. I'm lower on Kansas State than a lot of people, but he's doing a fine job. And he's someone I'd be happy to take a long look at. Mansour Delane at corner. The other Tennessee corner is someone I'm high on, and I'm still high on Rivers. So there are some players out there I'm keeping my eye on who are just kind of continuing to make the right kinds of noise. They're continuing to kind of add to it. I want to shout out Jonah Coleman out of Washington. He's been doing some good things. And the running back, Jadian, the running back out of UNLV, is also doing some nice work. So just trying to give some other guys shout out because they're on my mind. I'm thinking about it. So I've really rambled on, but I had a lot to kind of go over. So I hope you'll forgive the long. I'm definitely between me and Ryan. I'm going to ramble more than anyone. I am not a succinct dude. So I hope there's been at least some value and information in it. But other than that, we're going to call it a night. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed the live broadcast. Looking forward to some other big things, and we'll see you in the next broadcast. God bless. Have a great night.